Okay. And Latar, our fantastic graphic artist, uh, always does our great promo information, etc. here. So welcome to Midyear Magic. It's all about checking in on how you're doing with your time and your goals now that we're kind of halfway through the year. Ta-da, Midyear Magic. Okay. A little bit about me. Just a quick recap. I'm the CEO of AMP Business Coaching and Consulting. We've been in business for 21 years. Um, Award-winning author, which is kind of cool. #1 bestseller, 2 times over, and a thriver through life, we'll say. These are a couple books I've been in, and we're working on a third one. I also love speaking, so these are some of the places I've spoken as well. And we're working on this very related topics. We're talking about time a little bit today, but working on a third book, the Time Hacker Blueprint. So let's start talking about smarter goals, because that's what I always talk about. Not just smart goals, but smarter. And the key here that applies to what we're doing today is the E and the R. So the first thing I'm going to ask you is, do you have a piece of paper? Because you're going to want to take some notes while we go through some of this fantastic information. But there's some questions I'm going to ask you as well. So I want to make sure you have a place to keep track of that. So the first question is, what went well so far this year? And we're going to break that down in a couple. So what went well so far this year? So as you talk about goals that you want to achieve for this year, what's been going well? Are you about halfway to the goals? What's been going on? And this is interaction opportunity. Speaking of interaction.
I actually don't set goals. Um, but we were just talking before came on that, I've been doing pretty well in client acquisition recently.
Okay.
So I think just a general feeling is that things are going well.
Okay. Good.
But I know it's kind of weird for the accountant not to have metrics.
Well, it's interesting. I'll say that. But I mean, it's all about what works for you, right? As well,
Yeah, yeah.
which is the key, and that you have an idea of where you are. So that was good. So out of that, are there things you would pick up that are going well? Like, what about client acquisition? Is it the marketing method, the networking, the connecting? What do you think is going well?
I think both the method and and the quality of clients that I'm attracting. So I kind of joke around that if I wanted to be miserable, I'd still be at Deloitte. So doing things where I feel good about what I'm doing, about the people I'm around, about the work I'm doing, and so that's what's coming in is, we just acquired our largest client, and they're in the education space. So it's very nice that they're doing good, and then I feel like I'm doing good by helping them with the accounting and the back end stuff so they can focus on the forward of client facing stuff. So that makes me feel really good in the process. And I think we were talking about earlier, Mike, these are all referral based. And I think one of the things that occurs to me, and I'm still trying to work through, means that people like and trust me.
Typically, if they're
Yeah,
authentic,
so
yep.
it's starting to work on the pathway of acceptance on that, of like, oh, people like me. Oh,
Excellent.
that's weird.
Excellent. But that's a good sign. Welcome,
Yeah.
Mike.
Oh, hey Alice, hey Derek, Al, what's going on?
Hey, Mike.
We're checking in on our mid-year.
Excellent. Sorry, well, I've checked. That's why I checked in mid-hour. That's just to keep up with the theme of it all. Anyway, this was all planned.
Excellent, excellent. Do you have a piece of paper handy?
Well, I got a pen and a hand. I'll be right there.
Right on the wall. Right on the wall.
That can work too.
Yes, the other day I was up in the neighbor's apartment and the daughter writes all over the walls in crayon.
Oh, nice.
But who am I to judge, because
Well,
I locked myself out of the apartments, had to go there and clean. It was something.
okay.
Grabbing another Peter. This is empty, nothing in it. I'll be right back. This is a very special notebook. I use in special occasions.
Oh, I'm honored. We're honored.
Yes.
So our first question, as we check in with the mid-year, is what's been going well for you this year? Are there particular things that have gone well? So feel free to make a note of that for yourself. Feel free to share anything you want to share with the group as well.
Well, sure. What's gone well this year? Present companies, Al and Derek are regulars at my meetings, my workshops monthly. And it was this month last year, almost to the date actually, when I had my first one. And you know how many people showed up to the first? Zero. Actually,
Zero.
two people, myself and my co-host, who was supposed to bring the people, and he said, "Oops, I forgot." And so that was my first one.
Oh no.
By the end of last year, I was getting a little bit of steam and traction, but this half of the year is good. I'm actually monetizing it.
Excellent.
I made $76 last month. Actually, no,
Hey,
actually 76 on the night of, and then a client for $3,000 a week later. But it's better when it's $76. I can be sarcastic and successful
yeah,
at the same
yeah.
time.
Well, just a good example of you to start and then it turns into, right?
Yes.
Beautiful, beautiful. So the first thing we're looking at is what went well. Now, of course, we need to look at the flip side as well, right? What didn't work? So what are the things that you did this year that didn't work out the way you had hoped or intended or were supposed to?
I sent Mike $3,000 and
Yeah, well, I converted to Peruvian money, and by the time it came through, I barely had enough to even get on the internet to say, "Hey, Derek, sorry, you didn't qualify."
what didn't work?
That sounds like there's more of a story there, but we don't have time for it right now.
That's what I do. That's the business I'm in.
Oh, okay. Money transfer?
No,
Well, that's
stories.
right. I
Stories
mean,
on money transfer.
Storytelling. He's in the storytelling business.
Yes.
oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it's not quite on par with the Malaysian movies. What do we call that? Kowallywood? What's
Malaywood, not Hollywood. Hollywood, you have Hollywood is more for the Indian, the East Indian.
no, that's
side.
Bollywood. That's Bollywood. But
Bollywood,
you're
Indian.
Kuala Lumpur, you'd be Kuala
No, you call it Malaywood. Just Malaysia, no? MA. The MA stands in front. Malaywood.
Gotcha.
Okay. So make notes for yourself about what didn't go well or as intended this year. I'll give you another 30 seconds to do that.
Yeah. I think for me, like we had our house hit by a tornado last year.
I'd say that didn't go well.
Yeah, here.
Yeah.
Actually, I mean, we got some repairs done that look really nice right now. But it made it difficult, or it made it the mindset difficult of like, let's move forward. It just always felt in all aspects of like, we're just in survival mode. We're just going to do our best to, and then I was talking about the client acquisition. Like it was, we're just going to hold on to what we got. We're not going to worry about acquiring clients. We're just going to stay still because I think we just had this overriding mindset of survival rather than prospering. And so we weren't looking to really meet goals or things like that. We were just like, okay, let's just be glad and stay still.
That makes sense. That totally makes sense based on that. Now, what do you think comes after what went well and what didn't work? What do you think the third thing is?
Next 6
What
months.
did, what, oops, what, oh, hang on, how do we have repeating here? What did you learn? So out of all those things, what went well, what didn't work out, what did you learn? So again, make some notes for yourself so you have that to look back on. What did you learn from what's gone well and not so well this year?
for me is even though I come up with my own book as a co-author, but I couldn't get it delivered to Malaysia because Amazon doesn't like Malaysia. So the book was never delivered over to my place here. So
Oh,
I don't know
no.
how to do it. So, but anyway, everybody in the world can see it, yeah, those are the main countries because
Oh,
they have like.
wow.
So anyway, just waiting because the issue is that because this is the book was published by the main author from US, Dr. Constance Leland, but basically Malaysia does not have an association with Amazon, so that's the problem. Anyway, the book is out there, so it's on paperback, hardcover, as well as Kindle. Yeah. The book is there, but it was I'm co-author with 6 other authors. But I'm still, but being a co-author doesn't mean that you automatically get onto taking gigs. You know? You still need to get more visible in front of the marketing people and all that.
Yeah.
You have to market more myself in order to get onto stages as well. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes,
So
that
I
is
have to-
essential after the book is out.
That's right. So that's what didn't go well. That's the only issue.
Thank you. So go ahead and make, like I said, make notes for yourself about what you learned out of what went on so far. This is one of my favorite quotes. A goal without a plan is just a wish. Sorry, Derek. Goal and a plan. But the idea being is once you know where you want to go, you need to put that plan in place and make sure you get there, right? So I'm touching on this right now because at this midpoint of the year, the idea is based on what we just went through, what went well, what did you learn, and what didn't go well, is to update that plan with your learnings. Because if you have a plan, it doesn't need to stay static all year, right? That's the idea of the smarter, evaluate, and revise. So think about, from those things you just documented, what do you need to change for the rest of the year? And I love this graphic because it's all about, it's the small steps, right? You don't have a huge step because you never get up there, but you have small, consistent steps, you will get there. Okay, so that's the goal part. The next piece is time, because time navigation is my passion, helping people understand how to navigate their time, not manage it, not plan it, but what's going to work for you to navigate your way through it. So similar question. Do you think you spent time on the things you needed to so far this year?
Nope.
So again, kind of make a note about things you learned about where you want to make a difference with your time. And we're going to talk through one of my favorite sessions, which of course is the 4 Ds. So as you look at the things you spent your time on this year, what are the things that no longer serve you? What are things that you do just because of habit or routine, but are no longer serving you either professionally or personally, to help you grow, get you where you need to go? So those are the first set of things that can just get dumped, right? It's not really a purpose anymore. It just became a routine for me, and there's no benefit to it anymore. Something's changed and it just doesn't serve me anymore. So those are the things to get off your list, off your calendar, off your mind, and just say, we're dumping it. There's no reason to do that anymore. Then the second thing I always want you to look at is, I'm actually going to pop up to the upper left-hand corner now. The do it section is about things on your calendar or on your list or on your things to do that need your expertise and authority. So those are the things you need to do because of expertise or authority. Those are the things to keep on your calendar, the things to keep spending your time on because they require you specifically. There's nobody else that can do it. Your expertise and your authority. The next piece of the puzzle is to look at things that are on things you spent your time on, but could be delegated. And Derek knows, because last time I went through some of this time navigation, Derek was on, and Derek is a great example of one of the great things to delegate is your accounting. So that's a good place to look at. What are the things that need to be done? Like you have to do your taxes, you have to do your bookkeeping, but you may not be an expert, doesn't require your authority or your expertise, but it needs to get done. And that's an example of things to move on to somebody else. Typically, when we delegate items or outsource items that are not our area of expertise, they get done better, faster, and less expensively by delegating it to somebody else. Because a reminder, in case you don't remember, your time is worth money, right? So just because you're not writing a check to yourself for that 2 hours you spent doing bookkeeping, you could have been doing something else more lined up with what needs, again, your authority and expertise. So think through those things about what can you move on to someone else. And then the third piece is the things that do need to be done by you. Docket, put on the calendar. I'm a big proponent of if it's not on your calendar, it will not get done because it might be in your head, might be on a piece of paper somewhere, and you get a month down there and go, oh, shoot, I was supposed to get that document ready for so-and-so. I didn't get that done. So that's the docket. Put it on your calendar. Make sure you have the time needed to get stuff done on your calendar. I always recommend actually putting work time, like block out an hour a day, depending on what you're doing, sometimes two, for you to actually work on stuff. Getting back to that working on your business versus in your business, right? Making sure you have the time set aside to think about what you're trying to do some of that work, and help move your path down the road. Does that make sense? Excellent, excellent. So I'll give you 30 seconds to make any other notes about, so far off the top of your head, what falls into those categories for you.
So
And
I just
maybe,
wanted to share something about delegation that I've recently, because that has not been my strong suit
yeah,
because I'm a controller, and but
no
I'm
pun
also
intended.
an educator, and I
Yes,
realized if I can teach someone the task, I feel so much better about it. I can let it go. And so I love working with like the university students because, especially in accounting, they don't teach them the practical stuff. It's all the theory.
mm-hmm.
So I love teaching them the basics, like logging into QuickBooks and this is doing this. And when I teach one of them to do that, I don't feel like I have to control it. And so it's
Excellent,
easier for me to delegate doing it that way.
excellent. And that is one of the keys of delegation, whether you're teaching it or at least have it outlined well enough. Because if you don't give good direction, you're not going to get a good product back, and then you think it didn't work. But maybe it was the fact it wasn't handed off well enough for it to work. So I love that. That's excellent.
Gonna say
Okay.
a little bit about,
Oh,
if I could, when it comes to virtual assistants, you've got to know, I bet it's coming up in a blog, LinkedIn post next week is, do you have a VA and how do you task the VA? And what would you, everybody I talk to ask, what's on your wish list, your dream sheet of who you want to hire? Everybody's got a VA. I said, what would you have that VA do? And they say, well, everything, I guess. They don't know what they want that assistant to do. My brother hired a team, supposedly in the Philippines, and they spent 3 months designing his business card.
okay. Might have taken a little too long.
Wasn't even a good looking business card either. It was blurry, and so people don't know what to task their people to do. And
Right.
sometimes, so Derek wants to teach what he does to people to do that work. That's fine. But if I have to teach people to log into every one of my accounts and then set things up the way I want, it could be more work to follow up and teach them and then follow up and do quality control than it is to do it
Yeah.
myself.
Well, and the piece I look at from that perspective is, again, you need to vet who you're hiring.
Of course.
You know, have them do some test work. Look at past work they've done. Instead of just saying, hey, this is an inexpensive resource, I want somebody to do stuff for me. Here you
Yeah.
go.
Of course.
So I would say, Mike, that's what kept me from delegating because and I completely get it. Like you're not doing it the right way. That's not the now it's more work for me. Absolutely get that. How I got around that was like if I'm doing a task, I now record it on Zoom. And it could be, even if it's a 3-hour task, this is how I'm doing it. This is the button I'm pushing. And then that way I've created a library and I can cut them. I can make one of the tasks for the interns to cut it down and edit it. But now they have an entire library of this is how I, not only how I do it, but this is how I
Yeah.
want it done, step by step. And now they can, because there's also that issue for them of being afraid to ask a question because they're feeling very insecure. They're being told they should know everything and they don't. They're just college students. Now they can reference the video I made for them of how to do that thing. And it's there. All I did was click record when I'm doing it.
Right.
And now it's there.
Yeah, excellent. Excellent.
Good one.
Okay. This is the other piece of time, which is if you have a handle on your own rhythms and patterns. You know, are you a morning person or an evening person or a neither person? You're just in the middle. How long can you concentrate on a task? That's a good thing to know about yourself because that helps you plan your work based on your rhythm, right? You're doing your most intense, analytical, detailed work at the time you're your best. Like I resonate in the evening. I always do my best thinking, planning kind of work at night. I know several people who are like, oh my God, I can't think at night. I do all my stuff at 5 in the morning, which is not where I'm doing my best work. So it's knowing those things about yourself. So as you're docking stuff on your calendar, put it in the spot most fitting based on yourself. These are a couple of the tips I always share with people when I'm talking about time. It's all about being prepared. Review your day before you start, whether you're doing the night before or the morning of. Do a check-in to make sure you're getting stuff done. Look out ahead. You know, today make sure you're looking out 2 weeks because there's something out there that needs to be changed, moved, or have more time lined up for the work time of it, right? You know what? I've been working on that. It's due in 2 weeks, but I'm really needing more information about XYZ. I need to put more time on my calendar to go do that or task that to somebody else. But to do an action about it, do something about it. Setting boundaries. A key thing when you are usually providing services, of course, right, is having those boundaries set up, whether it's for your clients. You know, I have a client who is a single mom and she's very, dedicated to her kids. So she doesn't work after 5 o'clock. That's a boundary she set, she enforces. That's her kid time. When they come home from school or from camp, that's when she's spending time with them. And she is, it's a big boundary, right? She doesn't cross that boundary. So it could be something that applies to your personal life, something you're trying to do for yourself. I know people who have their workout time on their calendar, and that's a boundary. I don't ever get rid of this time because it's really, really important to me to get done. It could be that you, again, don't answer your phone before 8 o'clock because you are not a morning person and don't want to interact, right? So it's like getting those boundaries set. And then the biggest piece of that is communicating them because if nobody knows what they are, they're going to break them because they don't know what they are, right? So you want to make sure you're telling whether it's your clients that you don't work weekends or emergencies only on the weekend or, no evenings except during tax season or something like that. It's setting those boundaries and it's not bad. Sometimes people think that they set boundaries and people think they're mean or they're not productive or they're not working hard enough, but it really will make you more effective and they'll come to respect that as they learn more about it and see the value in that. So those are my quick tips for helping you keep track of your time. This is an example of my parking lot. I love this concept because it's like when you're busy, focused, working on stuff, if you think of stuff that crosses your mind, write it down, get it off your mind to keep you focused on the task you're doing. Kind of helps that squirrel issue, right? Because you've written it down, you're going to look at it later in the day, you haven't lost it, and it's good to go. So lots of cool stuff here in the middle of the year. The next step is to implement some of what we're talking about, and there's an opportunity to go deeper into these topics. With Latara and I, we have a workshop, or series of workshops that we deliver periodically. It's time to do it again, which is Journey to Success. So we offer each of our workshops together. So I go through trying your course. What are you trying to achieve? How are you going to get there? What are your measures going to be? How you stay accountable? And then the time navigation. It's like a whole workshop where we track your time, what you're doing, how you're feeling, kind of answer the question we just talked about as far as where you're spending your time on, where you should be spending your time on, and then what is your natural rhythm. And then Latara, you want to share a little more about your piece?
Sure. I go into attraction marketing online. This includes, why am I not seeing myself on the screen? Oh, that's okay. So this includes optimizing your social media profiles so that when you get people to like your posts or what have you, they'll go and check you out and boom, you instantly look like the authority, you look like an expert. So then they want to work with you. So then we set up your sales funnel so that somebody can say, hey, I want to work with this person. Boom, there we go. It's easy. It streamlines the process, so it increases conversion. And then you also have your lead magnet so that people have a reason to opt into your email list, so you can be building your list, because email marketing is kind of the where it's at, it's still the highest conversion of everything that people are trying. And so if you're if done with throwing spaghetti against the wall to see if it sticks, you can set this up so that it's very automated and helps you get your leads. So that's all encapsulated in these 3 different workshops. And Alice, do you want to move on to the next screen?
Yep.
This is the bonus that we just added this year because AI is everywhere. If you're not using AI, you're going to get left behind. So this is why we added a week to this program. And we'll be talking about, so Alice is going to be sharing with you how to use AI in the matters of building your business and whatnot. And then I'll be working with you on how to use AI in your marketing and your messaging. Do you want to add anything to that? Okay.
No, that was great.
Okay, cool.
AI and other automation. Because actually, some automation is not AI driven yet, but both those pieces. Latara, do you want to talk about the cool opportunity because you guys are here today?
Yeah. So right now, we can offer you 50% off our regular price of $497. So you have to use the coupon code at the bottom there. You can go to tinyurl.com/journey to success. And the promo code to get the 50% off is Midyear 2025. That brings it down to $248.50, I think.
And you can also scan the QR code.
Yes, you can actually pull out your phone, grab it right there. I'm going to put it in the chat as well, so it's easy peasy for you to grab.
Thank you.
And then the promo code is Midyear 2025. So there you have it.
Thank you.
And it gets a little bit better. So if you're interested in going all out for a full year, you can also add the coaching program. And because of a quirk with the checkout, we can't control whether the 50% off is applied to the Journey to Success only or everything that's in the cart. So we just decided, hey, let's just give you a 50% discount on the coaching program itself. So now you can get the Journey to Success and the coaching program for $805 after the 50% is applied. Go back to that one screen.
Oh,
there we go. Okay. So the coaching program for the year is $1111 normally. So now you can get the coaching program and the Journey to Success for less than the full price of the group coaching alone. So you can either join us for just the Journey to Success, which is an 8-week framework, or you can add the group coaching as well. You're going to get monthly coaching sessions plus 4 quarterly check-ins where we go through each of your plans and your progress and your goals and resetting targets and redirecting yourself so that you're more likely to actually meet your goals after the 12 months. And actually quarterly as well.
Yeah, exactly. And can I pop back here a second? Because I didn't want to forget the whole, if you sign up right now, you get this bonus coaching session too.
Oh my goodness. Yes. Thank you. I almost forgot to mention that one. Thank you so much. That's why we work well together.
That's right. That's right.
So yeah, these are the fast action bonuses. You get an extra one-to-one coaching call with me and an extra coaching call with Alice so that if you get stuck on anything, if you need a little bit of help refining your goals, or if you're trying to figure out what your best marketing solution is, or what have you, then those are also included in that as well.
Thank you, Tara. So, if you have questions about today's session, anything you want to work on from your questions you took notes on, please feel free to reach out to me directly right now as well and get a quick check-in call to answer any questions or give you some clarifications. And you go out to ampyourbiz.me, and that has my calendar link on it to go ahead and schedule some time. So, any questions about what we covered today?
Sorry, there's quite a list of calendar in Zoom. So next week will be an hour later, right? I mean next month, sorry. July 11, August 15. I mean my time. So yours will be June 21st, right? June 20th, which is actually 2 o'clock my time, which is 2 p.m. Pacific. So July 10th will be 3 p.m. Eastern, right?
If you, oh, I'm sorry, you're looking at the classes. Yeah, so it'd be whatever, whatever the shift for your time zone is. Is that
So
what
is
you
there
like?
a time series, the second half of the year? Is there direct series coming on? Or is that an hour later? For next month's session?
Oh, Latara, I think he's talking about next month, usual session.
Oh, you mean this webinar?
Yeah, that's right.
What you're talking about?
Yes, because there's today was at 2 p.m. Eastern, right? So next
Yes.
one will be 3 p.m. Eastern?
Yes, on Thursday. Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this one was a little bit different, and I think that's what threw us off, is because we typically do it on Thursdays at 3 p.m. Eastern, and today we did it Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern. So, but yeah, that's correct. Thank you.
Just follow the time given. All right, no worries. And it'll be a different topic each month, right?
Yep.
We're talking.
Mhm.
Okay.
Each month a different topic. Yep.
All right. No worries.
Well, I appreciate everybody taking their time to join us today and pay attention, participate. That's what I love. I'm sure those of you that also do this kind of stuff, there's nothing less fun than nobody interacting, right? And just silence. So thank you very much for chiming in on everything. Appreciate that. Latara, do you have any closing words you'd like to share?
I will go ahead and put my scheduling link in the chat as well. In case anybody has any questions, they can reach out to either one of us and get their questions answered, and help you get back on track for the rest of the year.
Excellent.
Great.
Thanks.
Well,
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for
Thank you.
showing up today.
Definitely. Awesome.
Got
Thanks.
some value out of this.
Cool. See you sometime next week.
Thank you.
Take care. Oh, and make sure to save the chat.
Oh, yeah.
Should have mentioned that sooner.
Mhm.
So at least the website is a bit unique. 5pcsite.com. Okay.
And definitely let's chat about your website, Al.
Yeah. Okay. Because I need to convert the book to the website instead. Yeah. Because the last year's free gift, from your summit.
Exactly. Yeah. There you go. Perfect.
Cool. Thanks.
Thank
Uh,
you.
Thank you. Take care.